Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a special look for those of you going back to school this month or very soon, or maybe some of you are back in school. So I got requested to do a back to school look, and it was kind of very specific requests, and I got a few of them, and I wanted to just kind of combine them all into one tutorial for you. So of course it was a back to school look. You guys wanted me to demonstrate the baking method a little bit more in depth, and also a sans wing liner kind of look. So I do have some variations within this look. Now I just first and foremost want to say that I myself have seen a lot of these back to school tutorials before, and I know that sometimes it can get a little heated in the comments because this is such a different look for everyone. I know that me and myself personally, and by the way, this video is more directed to those of us that are maybe already in college, but if you're in high school and you do wear makeup already and all of that jazz, by all means you can use this. I'm not saying this is restricted on any age or grade level, but for me myself, I kind of want to focus this more towards, you know, those of us who are already in college, whatever. This is also a good work look too, just throwing that out there. Anyway, but going back to what I was originally saying, I know for me myself personally, for those of you that have been with me for a while, and by the fact that I even do beauty tutorials on YouTube, you should know that at least 95% of the time when I was going to school, like actually having to go to campus, I would put on makeup. It would just be those, you know, few days where I would wake up late or I didn't want to have to deal with putting on makeup, that I would go with very, very, very minimal makeup or no makeup at all. But also adding to that, it's not like I would just go to school. I've held a job since a very young age, so I had to kind of always be presentable, not just for school or for a regular day, but also for work. So it kind of went hand in hand. So for those of you that are a glam girl like me, or you know, are totally comfortable with wearing makeup on a daily basis, this tutorial is going to be really good for you and hopefully really helpful. For those of you that do the kind of minimal makeup for school look, you probably won't like this video, so you can probably just skip even watching this tutorial. Don't worry, it won't hurt my feelings at all or whatsoever, but remember, there's always ways that you can tweak it to make it more custom and suitable for your liking. But anyway, without further ado, oh, also I did want to incorporate more drugstore and affordable products in this tutorial, so hopefully that helps you as well, because I know especially for those of us that are either in school or in college, you're having to, you know, be balling on a budget, and so it's totally understandable. And remember, any high-end product used in here, there are dupes out there, so don't feel obligated to go out and spend a lot of money on high-end makeup, especially when you're in school. You can get away with really affordable and really good products still at a good price. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now and let's get to the tutorial.
Okay, let's get this tutorial started. By the way, that's how I would wake up every day to get ready for school. So pulling our hair back, let's start off with priming our face. Now you can use any primer. These are some of my favorites. I'll list them down below, but for today I'm going to be using my Maybelline Master Prime Primer. This is a smooth and blurring one, and just making sure to work that evenly all over the face. So I'm taking my NYX HD Green Concealer. Lately my skin has been acting up because I have failed to repurchase a part of my skincare routine that is really essential to keeping my skin clear, and you know, the repercussions of not doing so has caused me to break out a little bit. So in order to have a really even skin tone, I'm just canceling out any redness with this green concealer on problematic areas. Then taking my damp beauty blender, I'm just making sure to really evenly work that into the skin. You don't want huge globs of this. It's really supposed to be like a thin layer to cover up nicely under the foundation. Then to brighten up underneath the eyes, this is your best friend. This is magic. I am taking my Bobbi Brown Tinted Eye Brightener, and it's basically a corrector to take away any under eye darkness or redness. You guys see me use this all the time on my clients. The ones I use on them is a corrector that's of a thicker consistency, and this is the Tinted Eye Brightener, which is much more lightweight. So I can get away with using this. If you don't have extreme dark circles or under eye redness, this is perfect for you, and they have a variety of shades. Moving on. So I'm then going to be taking foundation. If you guys like a light coverage, the Bobbi Brown Skin Stick Foundation is a good one. If you're more like me and like full to medium, these are some of my favorites. And I got a good range of high-end to drugstore brands. So if you want to check those out, I'll again list them down below. For today, I'm going to be taking a mixture of these two. And you guys see me put on my foundation so many times before. Basically, I'm just going to be buffing that into the skin. This is the Morphe B39 brush, MB39 brush, if I'm correct. Again, everything will be listed down below. And I'm just making sure to really stipple that into the skin to get a nice coverage. If you go buffing and swirling, you're going to be taking away a lot of the product, just moving and slipping it around. You want to stipple and learn how to practice pressing it into your skin. Next, concealing and highlighting. This is a must for me, and this is a make or break in any of my looks. I would rather cream, highlight, and conceal than contour any day. I'm just going to be placing this concealer right underneath my eyes, center of my chin, down the bridge of my nose, center of the forehead as well. This prevents any extra redness from your skin from coming through, but it also helps lift the face and really just brighten up your features a lot. It makes you look so much more awake, which let's get real, if you're in school, you kind of need that. Again, just taking my damp beauty blender and making sure to really work that in. It's perfect to use a damp beauty blender for this step because it picks up a lot of excess product. So if you feel like you put on a little too much concealer, you can, just pick it up with this and you'll be good to go. Also, you can use this to prime your lids if you want. Then for the baking and the fun stuff. So I'm going to be using my Ben Nye Luxury Powder in Cameo. You guys ask me all the time if I should use or what powders to use. My suggestion to you is to use a loose powder. You can use a translucent powder if you want, but I would recommend a powder with a little bit of color in it. Also, you can use pressed too if you want, but I will say that you will burn through your pressed powder product much faster than you would with a loose powder product. So that is why I recommend a loose powder. It's a little bit more messy, I totally understand, but you get more bang for your buck, just saying. And the way I pack on mine is with a dry beauty blender. You can use a dry triangle sponge, you can use a brush, whatever you feel, a powder puff even, whatever you feel more comfortable with, whatever you have, at your disposal. And I am just packing that onto the areas where we had concealed and highlighted, and especially in my T-zone. This not only makes your makeup last a lot longer, but if you're oily like me and you live in a region like I do where it is insanely hot and humid, it's going to really just help make everything stay intact. That's why it's called baking. It's really just setting that to the max. So let that set for about 3 to 10 minutes. Usually at this time I will do my brows, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Once my brows are on, my baking is done, I'm just taking a brush that doesn't have a lot of bristles to it because I don't need this to be packing on anything. I really just want to wipe away and sweep away any of the excess powder that didn't get baked onto our face, and just really making sure to just get rid of all that excess powder. Nothing really special to this trick. Once you're done with sweeping away that powder, again, this is an option for oily skin girls only. If you're dry, you can totally skip this step, but I'm just taking any pressed powder, and with that same sheer powder brush, I am just going to place that on all the areas of the face where we don't have powder on already, because again, I am oily pretty much all over. This just helps make sure that I have oil control throughout the day. Moving on, so this is a really important step. I'm taking my Physicians Formula bronzer, and with my favorite bronzing brush at the moment, this is a Sonia Kashuk 115 brush, and I'm just going to be pushing this onto the perimeter of my face. Bronzing is so important if you do it correctly. This is not only a minimal contour method, but it also just adds a lot of dimension back into your face. So not so much to chisel out features or to make your face look a lot thinner or anything like that. This really just brings life and color back into the skin. You don't look very washed out, you don't look really pale. So taking that onto the hollows of my cheek, a little bit on my chin, the tip of my nose, and especially around my forehead, that's really all you need. Now, if you're like me, you don't have problems powder contouring every day, I am taking my Anastasia contour powder in Fawn, and on a Luxie angled brush, I am just going to be pressing that into the hollows of my cheek. For me, I don't mind taking a few minutes out of my day to do this step. But again, it's totally up to you. You can totally skip this if you don't care to contour. I'm also going to use the same powder to contour my nose. Again, totally optional. I don't want to hear badgering about why you're taking, so much time to contour if you're just going back to school or if it's for a back to school look. That's just me. Do this to your liking. You don't have to do this step. Moving on, I do recommend though adding a glow. Adding a glow to your makeup look, it takes like 2 seconds. It just makes you look so much more alive, so much more vibrant. I'm taking the Balm Mary Luminizer. This is my favorite highlighter. If you're fair to maybe like a light medium skin tone, this works great on you. And I am just going to be pushing that, or I guess spreading that evenly onto the highest points of my cheeks. And then on my Cupid's bow, yes, I did go back and mute out my lips with whatever leftover concealer was on my beauty blender because I didn't want to be all sticky icky. And also on the very bridge of my nose to add some life back into my face. So going on next to blush, I am taking my Bobbi Brown Pale Pink blush. I have talked about this blush so many times before on my channel because this blush is the perfect blush color for everyday use and for every skin tone. Make sure to smile and press that blush back onto the apples of your cheek up into your hairline. Moving on to lip color. Since I already know the eye look I want to do for this, I'm just going to take a neutral color. This is my favorite color from Bobbi Brown. This is Heather Pink. I used to use this all the time. It's a great everyday color. It works on every skin tone. It's just a great neutral everyday color, which is why I highly recommend it. And it's very comfortable to wear. It's a nice satin finish. Nothing very dry, nothing very sticky. It's really just perfect. So once we have the lip color on, we can move on to the eyes. As always, I am priming my lids with my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre, making sure to spread that evenly. Then just setting with a white powder. I am using this one from my Urban Decay Naked Basics palette and just making sure to apply that generously all over the lid. Then taking Bobbi Brown Camel Shadow. I talked about this on my Snapchat the other day. This is such an essential color to have. Not this one specifically. You don't have to get this color, but get a color that's a very warm yellowy brown, and really just pushing this into your outer V and crease is all you would need if you really want to keep this as minimal as possible. For those of you out there that want to use liner, I am taking my Sigma Beauty gel liner in Stunningly Ladylike. This is just a dark espresso brown liner, and I'm not going to wing it out. I'm just going to line my top lid, but really try to practice on making the inner part of your liner thinner and then getting a little bit thicker on the outer part. This opens up the eye immensely. Now, I'm going to add this in here to show you guys how to start practicing a freehand wing. Start with shadows first. I am taking just an angled brush and mixing those two shadows from the Anastasia Couture palette, and with your eyes open, looking straight into the mirror, start practicing mapping out your wing with shadows, because if you mess up, you can literally just blend it away, and it's a great way to start practicing. So for those of you that can't skip a wing like I can't, you can always do this step too. It takes like 2 seconds. Moving on. If you don't want to do the wing, of course, don't do it. I'm just taking Fudge from that same palette and smudging that on my bottom lash line, and then going in with Camel and making sure to further smoke that out. Then taking my NARS eyeliner in Rue Bonaparte, a nude eyeliner. This is my favorite one. So you can take any nude liner if you want though, and just placing that on my waterline. Then to lift up our lashes a bit, I am just giving them a curl and giving them a quick coat of mascara. This is a must. Mascara will open your eyes so much and make you look so much more awake. Now, if you're like me and don't mind adding some falsies, well then by all means do so. It's if you are, really comfortable and have the know-how to put them on, then by all means pop some on. I'm just taking some of these wispy ones. This is from Lash XO. And then you're done with your eye look. Just pop on a highlighter on the brow bone and inner tear duct. I'm just spraying myself off with some finishing spray, and this is the completed look, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you do, let me know down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.